Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's talk about the evolution of babysitting anime and manga. Baby and Me or Akachan to Boku. The story of Baby and Me is about a story that happened within the Enoki family, which consists of a single father, the protagonist Takuya, and his 2-year-old younger brother Minoru. Since their mother died from a car accident, and their father was busy with his job, the protagonist Takuya had taken up the responsibility in doing the housework and taking care of his younger brother Minoru. Though Takuya was comparatively more mature than his classmates, he was still a 5th grader. He would still like to play with his classmates after school, but because of taking care of Minoru, Takuya gradually becomes stressful and annoyed towards his younger brother. However, at the end, no matter how many fights happen between the two brothers, all this can be resolved. In my opinion, among all the babysitting manga which I am going to introduce today, this manga is the most realistic one. Since apart from the good sides, such as the joy and happiness in taking care of the babies, this manga also covers the fight between the two brothers, Takuya and Minoru. Takuya would become emotional sometimes and would feel annoyed towards his younger brother. This element made this manga a bit more realistic when compared to others. However, since this manga is a work from 30 years ago, so please do not judge this manga by using today's value and practices. Mama wa shokaku yonense, or Mama is a 4th grader. In the beginning of the story, Mitsuki Natsumi is a 4th grader. Due to her father's job, the family are required to move from Japan to United Kingdom. However, due to some mistakes, only 2 air tickets were bought, and so Natsumi had to take another flight the next day in order to meet up with her parents. However, in that evening, while Natsumi was watching a movie, a baby suddenly appeared in front of her, and at the same time, Natsumi heard a voice came out from a device, which appeared together with the baby. And later on, Natsumi discovered that the voice is from herself, but it is the 24-year-old Natsumi in the future. After having a chat between 2 Natsumi, the young Natsumi determined to take care of Milai, her baby girl, before her parents came to pick her up from the future. Da or UFO baby. Kotsuki Miyu, the protagonist of the story, is an 8th grader. Since her parents need to leave Japan for work, they arrange Miyu to stay with their longtime family friend, the Seido family. However, similar to Miyu's situation, the father of the Seido family need to depart Japan for a period of time, and this left Miyu and a son of the Seido family, Kanata, staying in the same house. One day, a UFO landed near the Seido home, and inside the UFO, there is an alien baby, Liu, and his cat-like guardian, Wanya. Due to the far distance between the Earth and their planet, Liu and Wanya were unable to return back to their home planet. So Wanya asked Miyu and Kanata whether they can live with them for a while, and this started their living as a family. Since Miyu and Kanata look identical to Liu's parents, Liu was attached to both of them. On the other hand, while babysitting Liu together and living under the same shelter, Miyu and Kanata develop feeling towards each other. At the end, Liu and Wanya have been rescued by the alien of their home planet, and both of them return to their home. The writer of this manga later on also came up with a sequel to this manga, and named this work as Shin Dada or New Dada. It is a story happened between Liu and the daughter of Miyu and Kanata. Ashiteru ze baby, or I love you baby. Compared to other babysitting manga, this manga puts more emphasis on the mental development of the characters, and touch a little bit on the topic of child abuse. The story is about a popular teenage playboy Kippei, who didn't care much about girls' feeling when he hung out with them. One day, he was asked to take care of his cousin's abandoned daughter, Yuzuyu. At first, he was confident about this task, but later on, he realized that taking care of children was really challenging. As the story goes on, Kippei transformed into a responsible parent of Yuzuyu. Besides taking care of Yuzuyu's daily life, such as preparing bento and storytelling, he was also paying attention to Yuzuyu's mental wellness, since she was somehow abandoned by her mother. Also, apart from babysitting, Kippei had developed a relationship with Tokunaka Kokoro, his classmates who also owned a sad childhood. Love Soul Life. The story is about an orphan high school girl, Nakamura Shiharu, who worked as a part-time caretaker in a daycare center. One day, she was invited by a local TV announcer, Matsunaka Seiichi, to work as his personal babysitter in taking care of his 2-year-old twin niece and nephew, Akane and Aoi. Since Seiichi saw them were particularly attached to Shiharu in the daycare center. Seiichi is professional at work, but he was not good at doing housework and taking care of the kids, and that's why he had asked Shiharu for assistance. Shiharu agreed to become the babysitter for the twins, and this somehow started their living as a family. On the other hand, since this is a shoujo manga, you should know that the love line between Shiharu and Seiichi was unavoidable. After the story ends, the writer also came up with some short stories about Akane and Aoi, Gakkun Baby Shitatsu, or school babysitters. In my opinion, this is the most healing and soothing babysitting manga and anime when compared to other works which I have mentioned in this video, and I strongly recommend you all to read and watch this manga and anime. This manga contained the warm stories happened within two brothers, Kashima Ryuichi and his younger brother Kotaro, and the people around them. The story began with the parents of Ryuichi and Kotaro had passed away due to a plane crash, and the two brothers have been adopted by the principal of an academy. In exchange for the shelter and free tuition, Ryuichi needs to help out with the school daycare center outside his normal school hours. While helping out in the daycare center, Ryuichi and Kotaro had met lots of friends and good people. So, though their parents had passed away, they were still living in an environment full of love and care. By the way, just a TMI over here, the writer of this manga included some animal elements in the names of the major characters. This further boosts the cuteness of this manga. So if you have time, please do read or watch this manga and anime. I would assure that this will give you a sense of warmth and peacefulness. Kumicho Musume to Sewakakari, or the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. Kirishima Toru, with codename Sakuraki's Diamond, is a gang member of the Sakuraki's gang. He is famous for his brutality. After ending a business meeting with fight, the leader of the Sakuraki's gang, Sakuraki, gave Kirishima a mission in taking care of his 7-year-old daughter, Yaeka, in order to build up Kirishima's sense of responsibility. While taking care of Yaeka, the fearless Sakuraki's diamond has turned back to a human, and Yaeka also became attached to Kirishima's too. Lastly, here comes to the latest work. We have the famous Enya Froja, Spy Family in 2019. I'm wondering if I still need to give a brief introduction about this work. However, in case you are interested about this work, you could refer to my previous video up here. I have talked about some facts about Spy Family. That's all for my sharing today. If you like my sharing, please kindly leave a comment and let me know. And if you don't mind, please also like my video and subscribe my channel. I'll be seeing you next time. Bye.